So before commencing the program, let me invite Mr. Sundar Garg, CEO, SysArc Informatics, and Mr. Nag, Senior Executive Vice President, to have a welcome speech before commencing the program. Please have a big round of applause for them once again. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. 20 years. Been a long journey of 20 years. What a journey it has been. My God. It's like yesterday we started the company. Before we knew, the time just flew off. When I started the company with Nag, we did not know, not quite sure we know, what space we are going to be in. But one thing we knew that we would be, whatever we do, we'll be the best in what we do. And 20 years is a very long time to judge ourselves. I'm very humble to say we have reached the mountains thanks to all my co-workers. So thank you all employees for what we have done. If we judge the success, maybe right or wrong, if we judge the success by how well we have penetrated the market, let's take India. Literally, we have conquered customer base from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Bombay to Bengal, and many bankers within the country. I'm very humble to say that. If somebody says Karnataka has 5 banks headquartered, our answer will be, yes, we know, because all of them are our customers. Similarly, if Bombay has 7 banks headquartered, nationalized banks, the answer is the same. They are all our customers. I'm going to thank all the customers without whom we are not here. Thank you all. I don't want to measure success by what a great product we have or how many customers we have. The success I want to measure differently. If I peel off the greatness of our product and the market position we are in, ultimately it's the people who make who we are. I've been so fortunate to be associated with fantastic people. Every one of them could have chosen to do something else in their life. They chose to be part of this experiment called SysArc. Every one of them is equally responsible for making us who we are. If I have to look back and say, whatever little success we have, what would be the reasons? Every company defines success differently. As the man leading the effort, I measure it in my own way. A few willingness. I'm going to talk about 3 willingness that make us who we are today. The first willingness, I'm going to explain that with a very small story. This is a class of pottery class. The teacher on the first day of the pottery class divided the class into 2 groups. The first group, she said she is going to be grading them a little differently. Their grades will be dependent on the weight of the pots the students are going to make in that group. So if I want to get good grades, I need to make lots of pots. So together they weigh the most. The second group, she said she's not going to grade them on the weight. She's going to grade them on how well the pot is going to shape up, how beautiful the pot is. So the first group started making clays after making them into pots, lots of pots. That's all they can. The second group wanted to make a piece of art out of the pot. Say, looked at Google, YouTube, talked to people, went to forum. The last 3 days before the final exam, they started working on it, created something. Finally, when the teacher looked at the pots, guess which group produced the most beautiful pot? It's the one that made lots of pots. Although their goal is to go after weight, the reason is simple. You keep doing things every day, over and over and over again, you're going to be good at it. The willingness to put the hard work every day. That's one trait that I had seen in the 20 years of the company. The second willingness to face failures. If you take musicians, some musicians are great, some musicians are okay. So when you go listen to their concert, the musician who is really great will make you thrill for the whole program. On the other hand, if you ever look at them while they are practicing, it's just the opposite. The average musician, when practices, is really good. The great musician, if you ever listen to his practice, is plain horrible. What's the difference? The difference being, for you to be great, you must be able to experiment, try to explore new territories. When you do that, you must be willing to face failures. Failure is a twin brother of success. I have seen our people never care. Every failure they faced, they learn from it and move on. The last one, I'm going to make a couple of statements. The first one is, the number of people living on the earth is more than the number of people that have died. I'm not talking about this year, last 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. Since the earth was formed, since humans came into being, if you count the number of deaths, the total number is still less than the number of people living today. That's one. Second, in any 2 minutes, the energy coming to the earth from the sun is equivalent to the total energy consumed by the humanity for a whole year. So I make these two statements. You must be wondering, what does that have to do with 20th year? Let's think about this. I make two statements. Had I made the same two statements 20 years ago, some of you would believe me, others would be skeptical. It's just pulling some information. Whereas today, I make the same statement. Those skeptics, most of them have iPhone, tablet, whatever. You can quickly get on Google or other means to find out the statement I made was true or not. By the way, the statement is true. So what happens? The world is not the same since the internet came. So our product cannot be the same anymore. The willingness to adapt, the willingness to change is the third willingness, in my view, is the essential reason why we are successful to the extent we are successful. Many of you have been invited by your relatives, friends. These are the people today have been part of this experiment. Combining this with, there are some basic characteristics of the company. From day one, we have been highly ethical, highly honest, excellent integrity. These are the two things that we believe will take us forward. In the next 20 years, will I be around? Maybe, maybe not. But the essentials that we have today, when we pass on the baton to the new management, we are so convinced we will continue the same path. So I thought I could just tell you about where we came from. At the same time, I want to thank you for taking time to spend this evening with us. Thank you. Welcome.